What are the first and most meaningful steps you can take to reasonably protect your privacy on the internet? What are the first steps you would recommend that someone you are trying to teach about online privacy should take? In this video, I'm reformatting my general privacy advice to novice users that is digestible in a step-by-step plan. If you just wonder what the first things you should do to regain your digital privacy are, or whether you have someone in your family or among your friends that you want to help, this video is aimed at noobs and pros alike. All of the recommended steps are gonna come at zero cost, and although I do make some specific recommendations, I'm not affiliated or sponsored by anyone to promote them. These are simply community-tested, reliable, and proven tools that will help you begin with your privacy journey. All the steps laid out here are concrete and practical, with straight-to-the-point suggestions. You don't have to learn anything new, just get them and use them on a daily basis. My only sponsor is my audience, so please donate a couple of bucks a month by joining my membership or become my patron. Here we go.
Number 15.
Install DuckDuckGo. The first two spheres where the most serious data exposure happens is search and browsing. Your search history reveals your travel plans, medical state, financial situation, or pretty much anything that's on your mind. Google is known to study this information, profile it, and then release these profiles to data brokers and advertisers who capitalize on your vulnerability. The easiest way to start protecting your search records is to switch to DuckDuckGo. No service mentioned here is gonna be bulletproof or perfect. DuckDuckGo is no exception, but its business model is based on no data collection. There is no profiling or spying on who you are or what you do, and most importantly, DuckDuckGo doesn't log what websites you go to from your search results. DuckDuckGo has a mobile browser available for iPhone and Android. It's also on F-Droid, which means it's fully free and open source. Best feature is that it burns your browser data so that nothing is remembered that websites you visit could later track. On all the other browsers you use, change your default search engine to DuckDuckGo and use Google only when you can't dig relevant results on the Duck. Pro tip: to pull Google results anonymously, use Startpage. Another cool thing about DuckDuckGo is that it has an onion service, which is a perfect segue to our next section. Step number 2. Tor Browser. The second most valuable privacy asset is your browser history. Everybody is spying on your browsing. Your internet service provider, your browser, the websites you visit, and even those you don't visit. The most effective way of securing your browsing records is to kill all of these threats with one shot. Introducing Tor Browser. Available on all main platforms except for iOS, where it comes as Onion Browser, Tor Browser erases your fingerprint, hides your traffic from your ISP, and changes your IP address in such a way it can't be traced back to your true location by websites you visit. Tor Browser uses DuckDuckGo as a default search engine, stores no browser history, so you have to use bookmarks to remember websites for later, and you can have your traffic fully encrypted by visiting Onion websites like DuckDuckGo Onion service, thus taking your traffic completely off the grid. When using Tor, it's important not to break these essential OPSEC rules. Do not change any Tor browser settings, install plugins or add-ins. The only settings you can change are security settings and requesting Tor bridges. Do not log into any online accounts through Tor unless they were created completely anonymously. And remember that Tor is essential, but it's not all you need to be anonymous online. You can still be targeted by powerful adversaries. The main point of using Tor is to enjoy the internet without having your every step tied to your real-life identity. It can easily evade mass surveillance and the annoyingly invasive advertising industry. It won't suddenly turn you into a big-brain hacker. Unless you put in a mask. Follow my Tor browser tutorial to learn more how to use this tool effectively and safely. Step number 3. Signal Private Messenger. Your third biggest privacy asset is stored in your online conversations. Most of these aren't end-to-end encrypted, and even those that are exploiting the hell out of the metadata of your convos to monetize it for advertisers. You need to secure your communications with end-to-end encryption as well as protecting your metadata. How do you do that? You don't. There are plenty of tools on the market that can do this for you. The easy solution is with Signal Private Messenger. Signal is often touted by security experts as the gold standard of secure messaging, and it's just as easy to use as any other messenger out there. There is absolutely no learning curve to Signal. Just install it on Android or iPhone, add your contacts, and enjoy the freedom of truly private conversations. And the only metadata Signal can currently reveal, if the law enforcement asks for it, is the date and time you registered your account and last time you logged in. In the tech world, this is pretty much nothing. Signal doesn't store your contacts, messages, attachments, device information, nothing. It even automatically erases all the metadata from the images you send, and you can use its features to blur faces or draw over images to conceal information before you hit send. Signal is end-to-end encrypted by default and only. What this means is that there is no fallback to plain text like with other encrypted messengers. Signal doesn't have access to your encryption keys, so they can't unlock or read your messages even if they were ordered to. And with its ease of use, there is no excuse not to use it. Get it and make your friends get it too. It's the easiest thing in the world you can do. Step number 4. Progressive web apps. Social media has become such an integrated part of our lives, but deleting them all is not the only step you can take to improve your privacy. The problem with social media apps is not only are they tracking everything you do on their platforms, they are also spying on everything you do on your phone and with your phone. They usually require way too invasive permissions to access your device identifiers, track your location in real time, know what other apps you use on your phone, or read your contacts as well as your file storage. If you delete these apps from your phone, you can still use them in your browser. Until recently, this has been quite impractical, but there is a new innovation on the market that's changing the game. Progressive web apps. A progressive web app is basically a website application that is rendered by your browser to function as a mobile app. PWAs retain most of the main features of the native mobile apps, but their permissions are strictly limited by your browser settings. PWAs don't have access to your device identifiers, contacts, or file storage. You can even revoke their access to your location, camera, microphone, and notifications. Most big browsers like Chromium, Safari, or Firefox already support PWAs, and more websites are turning into progressive web apps. If you stumble upon one, you should be able to see the option to install the website on your phone with a dedicated icon on your home screen. Step number 5. Emails have been around for decades. They're old, clunky, and most of us hate to use them. But they are sometimes necessary for signing up for some online accounts, shopping, and banking. The issue here lies in the ability of third parties to track you through your email address, and that most providers on the market like Gmail or Yahoo open up your inbox to advertisers and other third parties. The solution is to use end-to-end encrypted email as much as possible, but even if that's not possible, you want to choose an email provider that has no access into your inbox and doesn't monetize your email data. Since the Snowden leaks, there are plenty of secure email providers out there. I'd recommend signing up for ProtonMail and or Tutanota, as both of these are incredibly secure, free and open source, available on all platforms, and hosted in more privacy-friendly European nations. Even better is to have multiple email accounts or email aliases and use different addresses for dedicated tasks. Have one for banking, one for social media accounts, one for online purchasing, and one for personal email communications if you still have any. Both Tutanota and ProtonMail support multiple accounts in their apps, so definitely take advantage of this feature. Step number 6. Revise privacy settings. The next step involves a little bit more nuance than just simple tap to install. You need to go through the privacy settings of every app and account you sign up for and opt out of any data sharing or marketing consent. You'd be surprised how much you're exposed simply by having these settings toggled in the wrong way. Most of this is unnecessary, and opting out won't affect your user experience. Go through your Google account web and app activity settings, Apple ID privacy settings, location services, Facebook privacy and security, etc. Some of these settings may be hidden in the vague wording such as personalization, allow suggestions, and stuff like that. Make sure to do this on all your devices, apps, and accounts. Step number 7. While you're revising your privacy settings, take a minimalist approach to your app setup. Chances are you have plenty of apps on your phone that are just sitting there collecting your data without you even opening the app for weeks. The more apps you install, the more exposed you are to data leaks and security risks. Delete all unnecessary, obsolete, or redundant apps from your phone. Try to do more with less. Even if you delete social media apps, a lot of proprietary apps are still using Facebook trackers inside their apps, so Facebook can still collect your information. Limit these apps to an absolute minimum. Step number 8. Free and open source alternatives. The last step I'm gonna leave you at will set you up on the never-ending journey of preserving your digital privacy and freedom. Slowly but surely, one by one, you're gonna replace your current proprietary apps with free and open source software. The market for FOSS apps is growing so fast there is a privacy-respecting alternative to almost anything. Get Nextcloud to replace G Drive for your cloud storage. Have Bitwarden managing your passwords. LibreOffice has all the necessary tools and components for heavy office work. Try out F-Droid for the best marketplace for free and open source apps on Android. Look for other FOSS apps on alternative to .NET. The next thing you know, you'll be running Linux on your laptop and Graphene OS on your phone. Privacy is a process. The goal is to have freedom to express yourself without the public judgment or fear of authoritative overreach. So welcome to the privacy community full of ordinary people who simply value free thought, intimacy, and meaningful exchange. Thanks for watching, and stay free.